generation was, my generation was all about texting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally.
I'm Rich.
And I'm Josh.
Make sure your Walkman is at full battery because we're diving into our dad tapes.
Thanks for listening to tape number 3 of the Dad Tapes. Let's get rolling in for this episode. What we drinking tonight?
Tonight we have this beautiful, exquisite micro IPA. It's a 609 IPA from Glasstown Brewery, which is brewed in Millville, New Jersey. So it's pretty local to us here in South Jersey. And quite honestly, it's your first time having it, right, Josh?
Yeah.
It's not, in my opinion, it's not too hoppy. It's a 6.9, so it's heavy, but it's not too heavy. What do you think of it?
I enjoy it. I mean, honestly, when it's ice cold, it's really refreshing.
Would you
Um,
buy it again?
oh yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little strong on the strong side for me, but the only reason I say that is because I could have like two or three of them and be on my ass.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I know.
it's really good. It's got good flavor. In my opinion, it's nice. It's got like a nice, perfect blend of citrus, in my opinion. I like it.
No, it's a really good beer. It really is. If this is a signature drink, they nailed it in my opinion.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll make a podcast. We'll cast live from Glasstown Brewery one day. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, right.
So what how's your week been, man?
Uh, it was good. Not too bad. Weekend this weekend was a little rough with the little one.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of brings me back to what I talked about in our last episode, patience.
It's interesting how it all comes full circle, isn't it, man?
The little turd was testing my patience all weekend.
I'm sure she was, man. Dude, that's what they do. They try us. That's just what their job is, to see how far they can get. And sometimes they get far.
Oh yeah, and they push all of the buttons.
They they find buttons that you didn't even know were there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what did you guys do this weekend? You just hang out at home? I mean, the weather was kind of bleh.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of poopy, but Saturday we hung out at home. Watched some movies, dyed some eggs for
There you go.
Easter, and Sunday took her fishing. Sadly, didn't catch anything, but hey, I got her out of the house, so
Time spent, man. That's what
yeah.
matters. That's what matters.
So,
Better than being
but
cooped up in your house all day.
yeah, you
Oh,
ain't kidding.
weekend.
Dude, Saturday was just a nightmare. I'm glad Sunday was nice and beautiful out, so I got her outside, and it was good. It ended the weekend on a better note, thank
Good.
goodness.
Good. And
But
then just make sure you try to scheme up something. I mean, hey,
stick her with Haley and let her have a girl's day. Go
there
get
you
her
go.
nails done.
Yeah. That sounds pretty fun. That would be pretty fun for her, I think. I think she'd like that, honestly.
Sorry, Haley.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
You're in it now,
Oh man,
Hallie. Good
yeah.
luck.
So other than that, the week it was good. Put my little side business out for
Yeah, let's give that a shout
advertisement on
out, man. Let's
Facebook.
give that a shout out because this is your platform to kind of put your business out there. And here we are, week after week, putting our stuff out there. And part of that is also just advertising yourself, man. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not working my regular job right now, but I got a little side gig at detailing cars and I got some hits. So we'll see. Everything's going good so far, and
We'll put your information out there if you want, you know.
I mean, hey, listen, if you're local, if you
Even
if you
if you're
want to,
not local, he'll take a plane ticket out there with some of his product and go all the way out to like Ohio. He even would consider going across international waters.
easy
So
now, easy.
anybody, he's really trying to open up some like conglomerate type of business here. So at the end of the day, anywhere, if you're listening from Finland, my guy, he could hook you up. He has, and it's affordable. Don't ask me how he's going to do it, but it's affordable. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know from
Sorry,
experience,
Finland guys.
so.
Oh man. No, so just pay attention to our Facebook page. Maybe I'll throw up my business card on the page, and if you see it and you want one, just give me a shout.
Shut up.
But other than that, what about you? How was your week?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I mean, the weather helped getting them out again and doing some more yard work. You were here today. You saw the the uphill battle I have with these garden beds and the backyard, and I got my hands full, man.
Chopping old cable lines. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yo, it's not my fault they put that like 2 inches under the topsoil. That is ridiculous. No.
When you get it to the point of what your vision is and what you want, that's when you're gonna feel accomplished. And you can look back and
Yeah,
say, it used to look
absolutely.
like this, and now it looks like this. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, you saw it, dude. I got like 5 bags of 40-pound bags of lime that I have to lay. 200 pounds of lime I got to lay down
Oof.
because only 40 pounds is 1,000 square feet. I got a 4,000 some square yard. And then,
Jeez.
the seed, the the fertilizer. Good grief, dude. The dog I got to worry about, the kids. It's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. But yeah, dude, I enjoy that type of work. I really, really do. And I'm so pumped to get that yard spick and span, to get my grass green, to get my garden set up. Dude, it's going to be nice.
Good, man.
It is that time for us to be prepared dads. So tonight we're going to actually reference the page 10, handing over the baby, because you know what? As a new parent, it is tough. It's tough to hand over that baby to anybody. It really is.
It's also hard to deny because majority of the people that want to hold the baby want
Yeah,
to just give it love. So it's hard.
it's hard to determine the right time to deny people or who to deny, because you don't want to feel like a dickhead,
Yeah,
but you also like you deserve, like, you're a new parent. Not even a new parent, even if this is your second or third, fifth, you deserve that time with that child, regardless of other people's desires to hold the baby or impede on your life or offer their time.
yeah. Well, it's
No.
also important too because like at that age, they're very they're not independent at all.
Hmm.
They're dependent on you as a parent.
On
And
mommy and daddy, that's it.
yeah, it's important you're there and the baby knows that you're there for them.
It is important for people to hold that baby, because at the end of the day, it can give you some time away.
Oh
It can
yeah.
give you some time to readjust, decompress, even if it's, I mean, if you're a parent, you've been there. 30 more minutes of sleep. God, it's a godsend.
Oh yeah.
It does wonders for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's important to have. But when you do hand that baby off, let's just be safe. We are in the post-pandemic, no matter your views on any illness, okay?
Yeah.
We are in the post-pandemic world. We're in 2023, and at the end of the day, a newborn baby just doesn't have antibodies to be able to fight off anything.
No. Listen, people still don't wash their hands.
Mm-hmm.
It could be I mean, listen, I could be complacent, but even holding it for a few seconds, you're handing germs over.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And if
I mean,
you also need to not only respect your comfort level in this aspect, but we all know, we've all been there, and we all know
yeah,
from looking at and watching other people what it's like with their comfort level trying to hold a baby. I mean, if you haven't held a
awkward.
baby before, it's like, what are you trying to do? Like, that doesn't look comfortable for you or the baby. Just like slow down a second. So it's
Sister's
it's
holding it by the head and shit. Like,
yeah, yeah. Don't give a baby to Bridget. She'll carry it around the head. So at the end of the day, you have to also assess their comfort level too. It's so important and critical.
very, please don't be that parent that's like, no, you can never hold my baby, or you're not allowed to come near my baby at all, or whatever. Just
Yeah. Yeah. Another good thing to tell people would be, you just simply say, they're irritable, they're cranky, they
yep,
just got their shots, so they're sore. I mean, I don't like getting a shot, and I'm 33 years old. Yeah, it gets a little tight there when you get that shot. So imagine what it feels like for a baby. And even if even if your baby didn't get the shots, it's still okay to say that because you're
Yeah.
still a parent. Who cares? And then the best tip that the book actually gives you on what you can say is the baby has projectile diarrhea, and I don't want you to pay for your dry cleaning bill. That's just a great thing to say, you know? What
I
can
ain't
somebody
your
say back?
mama. I
What can
ain't doing your laundry. Now it's part of the show where we like to talk about our topic of the night. Tonight's topic is called Mush Brain. TV, tablets, electronics, etc. You know, how long should your kids watch it? How long? What is enough? Public places, being out to dinner,
There's always
family
there's always those
functions.
critical times where you need that, you
Oh,
know.
yes. Yes,
It's
yes.
always like when you're at the Cheesecake Factory and Bridget's deciding to start to throw water places and rip all the menus off and trying to steal forks and knives and start to scream. So you just put Miss Rachel on your phone and you just let that play. You know what? I don't even care what cartoon it is or what it is they're watching. Give me those dancing fruit vegetables. I don't care. Just distract you for 20 minutes so I can eat my dinner and not have you throw everything around and cause a scene and us have to leave. No, just that in moments like that when you are at your peak, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh man.
Sorry, I've been there. If I've sounded frustrated, it's because those feelings just were, manifesting through me again. So just sorry about that.
Listen, Rich, we've all been there.
Yeah, I
Don't
know.
you worry about that.
So to maybe have some evidence backed information to kind of approach our topic with. So I found this article from heart.org. It was strongly recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics to limit your child to 1 hour screen time a day. Now, according to the article, these two parents, both of whom were teachers, noticed a correlation in some of the students with their poor grades or poor health in the amount of screen time that they either witnessed firsthand or that they were made aware of by the children or by their parents. Their theory was actually slightly reinforced by a study that was released in the same year, which concluded that, and I quote, the preponderance of evidence suggests that screen time adversely affects adiposity in youth. So, to break it down in layman terms, the evidence was more in favor that screen time has negative effects on a adolescent's weight because of the sedentary lifestyle that it just opens the opportunities for. It sounds concerning,
Very.
but I also think that there's some benefits to screen time, and I personally can attest to that.
I agree.
So that the screen time that, we'll just reference back to, the AAP and what they recommend, you don't have to live by that. Yes, some days more than others, some days less than others. I mean, that's life. Life, that's just an average. You can't do to the T, to the minute, to the second every day that way.
No, it happens. You have these days where mommy's not feeling good, daddy's not feeling good, or the weather's crappy and you can't
Mm-hmm.
take them anywhere, or, anything. The only thing that can actually, keep them concentrated or occupied is the poop tube. I mean, hey, listen,
Exactly.
there's days where I just don't want to do anything and I want to lounge around and just binge TV shows all day. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it,
No, there isn't.
but I mean, with them being young as they are at limited time, yeah, it's something you should really consider.
Yeah. No, and not even just the amount of time, but mostly the content.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, it is good to have these guidelines, and we can only use research and or a meta-analysis type of research, or even just your own research on being a parent in itself, because everybody's journey is different.
Hmm.
Everybody's parenting style is different, and everybody's comfort with certain things are going to be different. So it
Yeah.
comes down to what you're comfortable with, the lifestyle you want to create for yourself and for your children.
Oh yeah. And see, that's the other thing too, because it's what a lot of people don't realize is, yeah, it's the television, but a lot of the things that some of these kids watch nowadays is can be very educational,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it could influence them a lot, especially at certain ages.
Hmm.
All right, so I know growing up together we were very close with each other, but
Hmm.
weren't very close in age, and you didn't have as much crazy entertainment with electronics as I did.
Oh, hell no, I didn't.
With the screen time you had as a kid, how much do you think it differed to what you have now as an adult?
Well, I mean, it differs vastly, just because, I was in real estate. So just even my career at some points in time in my life required me to be in front of a screen for at least 9 hours a day, like a combination of whether it be my phone, the computer screen, emails, contracts, finding vacation rentals, so on and so forth. So to answer that question directly, my childhood really, I didn't have a lot of gaming. Like I didn't have gaming consoles. I didn't have my first smartphone until I think I was out of high school. Um,
I was at least a junior.
yeah, yeah. I know I was out of high school. I used to be, I had the LG chocolate, dude, best phone in the world, bro. I had the LG Envy. That was a good one too.
That was my favorite out of all the phones. Like,
Yeah.
even thinking back now with all the smartphones and the crazy phones we have now, if I had the opportunity to go back to an MV, I so would.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't have the obstacle of screen time on my phone wasn't a thing during high school and my adolescent years because I just went around. So that
Yeah.
wasn't really a concern for me. My major thing was, we had our family computer. And once I got into high school, that's when my parents allowed me to get my own computer. So I had a computer and then the TV. That was it. And I did have a TV in my room growing up. Um, I was pretty active as a kid. Soccer, baseball, basketball, playing out with outside a lot. So as a kid, I didn't really have a lot of screen time. But again, the world and technology was just vastly different. And it's tough to really kind of allow myself to compare it just because culturally speaking, our society is just in a different spot. And those things, I didn't have those things on I wasn't even able to get half of those things to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's clear that as an adult, there's just a lot more screen time in my life.
Hmm.
So, I mean, with you having the opportunity to get that even as younger in your high school years as possible, and I know we differed because you had an Xbox at a young age. How do you think that your exposure to that makes you differ as an adult, if at all?
Um, I mean, honestly, I don't think it makes me differ as an adult. Um,
Okay.
I mean, me growing up as a kid, I mean, I even though we had the electronics, I spent the majority of my time outside anyways.
Hmm.
I mean, I was always fishing,
Yeah, your
going on,
your Call of Duty KD reflected that.
yeah, fishing or hunting with my old man. Dude, I was on my butt. I come home from school. The first thing I would do is I would put my stuff inside. I'd hop on my bike and literally I'd be gone till dark, you
Yeah.
know. And the only time I really spent on the Xbox was the majority of the time was on the weekends. I knew all
Yeah.
my friends were at home and we'd all sit down, but it was usually in the evening. Like I'd come home from doing whatever we were doing. We were outside all day, having a good time, hanging out with all my friends. And then I'd come home, I'd have dinner, and then I'd sit down and I'd have my screen time.
I
I'd play
gotcha.
some Xbox. I mean, we played together.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, yeah, I played a lot, but it was balanced out. I mean, I was outside so much as well. I used it to it was mainly my leisure. I mean, it
Yeah.
was some entertainment, but that was about it. I mean, I wasn't completely hooked into it. I mean, the only time I was really hooked into a screen was, I mean, my generation was all about texting. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally all it was. We people barely ever talked on the phone. It was just literally your thumbs were going all day. School, whatever.
No, absolutely. They are, man. Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't really have too much of an addiction to it.
Now kind of discussing what it was like for us. And clearly, again, as I said, the times are just different. And here we both are parents, millennial parents going through a generation where there's
It's everywhere.
AI. I mean, AI, like talking robots. Like
Yep.
Google had to shut down a project because this AI robot that they had built became self-aware. And
Yep.
that could be a real freaking issue. But at the end of the
That's
day, that's a topic, that's a Joe Rogan podcast discussion.
yeah,
We're not
right.
there yet. We're not there yet. You know, but that being said, we are now subject to raising these kids in this world. It's tough because that's clear the world is going toward that route. And I don't think we should ever inhibit a child's growth in their world. So that being said, unfortunately, your circumstances with your daughter, you're pretty limited in what you can do in
Yeah.
regard to screen time and helping her regulate that and putting an allowance or a cap on that. So that being said, when you do have her, do you notice any behaviors that could correlate to maybe her just kind of overdosing on screen time through the week? Or, I mean, like, I know you don't maybe have much to scale it up against, but do you notice that she's a little bit more inclined to, hey, daddy, I want to watch TV, or hey, daddy, I want to play on my tablet, or hey, daddy, let's do this, that? Or is she a little bit more open to just always going outside and playing and doing that, kid stuff?
Honestly, it's kind of a mix of both. I mean, she has her days where she wants to, watch her. She has this thing where she likes to watch YouTube videos of like Minecraft and
Mm-hmm.
Sonic and stuff like that. Um, but then again, there's days where she's like, "Daddy, let's go to the park," or "Daddy, I want to ride my scooter," or.
Okay.
But um, every once in a while, I do see that she gets very hyper focused when she's like
Mm,
watching TV.
yeah.
And it's one of them things where she's like, I don't want to say that like completely ignoring everyone, but
She's just in a daze
yeah, she's
almost. Yeah.
so in depth with
She's
watching what
entrapped
she's
in that
watching.
screen.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
There's another follow-up question that I want to ask you. I mean, again, it kind of focuses on Addie and your situation and your co-parenting. It focuses on Addie and your co-parenting situation. I know in the past when you were still with your ex, a lot of screen time was just part of their daily routine.
Yeah.
So, do you think Addie gets too much screen time? I mean, I want to preface this by saying back then when we had those discussions, she wasn't in school. And now that
No.
she's in school, I mean, do you still think that she gets too much screen time?
Now, for instance, I want to say no.
Okay.
Back then, definitely. It was a major thing.
Was it ever a discussion between you and your ex?
I don't want to say there really was a discussion, but we tried to. It was very hard to break her of that. While we were
Okay.
still together because I mean, honestly, kids throw tantrums. I mean, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what it's about. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to that, it was a major thing. And at the point where she was constantly on her tablet. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yes, she was playing with her toys here and there, but she was always glued to her videos. I mean, back then, I think she may have had a little bit too much, but she's honestly come a long way from what she had
Good.
before.
Good. I'm glad. I know that was a worry for you. And I'm glad, school kind of mitigated that for you guys.
Oh yeah, that school helped big time,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, it got her out there. She made friends. She's learning more.
Okay. That's good.
Now, like, I mean, I know we were talking about Addie and everything with that, but um, with you guys and having two children yourself, Declan and
Mm-hmm.
Bridget. I mean, they're not very far apart in age. I mean, do you think the Declan's time with the boob tube do you think it influences Bridget at all?
Yes and no. I think the short answer to that is it mostly influences her directly by the same amount of time we would provide him is what she gets as well.
Okay.
Some days, yes, we would leave the TV on as background noise, and
Yeah.
I am home all day. So I can honestly say that half the time, I mean, you know how kids are. Half the time they wouldn't even watch the freaking thing.
No.
It would just be on, and half the time I'd also put on Pandora and just have kids music playing, and we would have like dance parties, and make something different out of screen time, or they could focus on that and the visuals on the TV, but it's just music. It's just music and still images, and we'd have a great time. There is a habit that Declan got into, though, which is coming into our bedroom in the morning time. We would allow him sometimes to watch some TV, but since then I've noticed how his excessive amount of screen time, and I'm only saying excessive in comparison to what he had previously,
Yeah.
that excess amount of screen time really affects his behavior. It affects his manners. It affects his attitude. It affects him especially. Honestly, I could argue I could put Bridget in front of a TV and she really would be able to watch that all day. And as of now, as a 2-year old, I don't think it would have a lot of negative impacts in regard to her attitude or anything like that, at least
Yeah.
from just speculation. Whereas with Declan, he's just so hyperactive and just so much energy to begin with that when he doesn't get what he wants, if he's in a mood like that, it turns into a tantrum. And I think a lot of it correlates to him just having a lack of release. And when you're watching TV, let's just be honest, kids aren't on the Peloton watching TV while they run. They're not
Yeah.
on the Peloton riding their bike, or they're not on a bike watching TV as they're spinning and getting that energy out. They're just sitting down. It's very sedentary and it's not good. I really like putting like Bluey on or Miss Rachel, Blippy. I'll put on Blippy, but it just because those types of shows are engaging, especially for her.
Yeah.
Declan's attention span, you've seen him.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that keeps him entranced in a TV is Frozen or Frozen 2. He's that's it. Bluey can do that with him as well, but everything else for him, it's just most of the time it ends up being background noise for him. Um, but with her, she does pay attention,
Yeah.
and that's why I am focused on what I put on the TV when I know that she's gonna watch it, just because I've seen it firsthand it help her.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, dude, in my opinion, and again, I'm just not aware of what maybe a non speech delayed child is like. But with her, I truly think, her language is so expansive. And the only reference I have is the speech therapy Declan would get as a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
and the information that they would provide and where he should be. And I'm telling you, she strides ahead, and it's amazing to see that. And a lot of that is due to just interacting with her while watching TV,
Yeah.
and just watching her mimic the words or singing with her. That's what it also comes down to with screen time. With screen time is interacting with them with the TV show. I found that that's pretty productive.
Yeah, it could be very productive.
Dear internet, me dad. Tonight we had to revisit the good old FML train. So there's this one. Man, it is something. I don't know what to think of it. I just other than laugh. Today, my parents told me that they had planned 2 kids, my older siblings, and I was born because my father thought that he was wearing a condom. Fuck my life.
Oh.
Fuck my life. Yeah, yeah. FML on that one. That is I don't know how to take that. I don't. I just don't have a response or a comment on it. So moving on. Today, in front of all of my family, this one's good. My grandmother said it was funny how my brother was my mom's favorite, while my sister was my dad's favorite. When I asked whose favorite I was, there was silence from everyone, including my parents. Guess I know where I'm not wanted now. FML. That hurts to the core. That hurts to the core, man.
Oh
Whew,
man.
my heart goes out to that person.
Sorry for you, man. This one's labeled family portrait. This
Okay.
is today. I gave birth, but my husband was late and got here just in time to cut the cord. He was hungover after celebrating his impending fatherhood all night. He, he missed the cord twice, cut it, then fell over and wound up in a bed next to mine with a hydrating IV and a bashed head where he hit it on the baby's cot. FML.
That sounds like he had a good time. It sounds like he had a good time.
Oh man.
Oh shoot. That is
Yes.
whew, that's rough.
Here's a small short one. This is a signed bald at birth. Today I found out I'm balding faster than my dad. I'm 19. FML.
I can't, I can't, I can't, dude. I
Sorry
am.
about your luck, bro.
I'm pretty sure I got my hair genes from my mom's side of the family, and I love them. You know, nice thick full head of hair. You know, Papa, man. You saw
Oof.
pictures. He had a nice thick head of hair. Thank you,
Thank
thank you,
God.
Papa.
That's what I
Thank you,
got.
guys. Dad, I love
Blessed.
you. I really do. But you are balding, and I am just glad I'm not balding either. Love you, Dad.
Sorry, Uncle Bob.
So today, I was out with my girlfriend when my ex-father-in-law, who suffers from Alzheimer's, saw us. I don't know what he was doing out by himself. That's a damn good question. Somebody with Alzheimer's out there
Oof.
by themselves. Oof, dicey. I don't know what he was doing out by himself, but he still thinks I'm married to his daughter. So when he saw us, he thought I was cheating and knocked my tooth out with his walking stick.
Oh my
You know what?
God.
I hope if I get Alzheimer's, I do something like that too for my daughter and son. But hey, you know what? I don't know who's the hero in this situation.
Yeah, right?
Well, this will be the last one because
All right.
honestly, this just sounds like something that I want to do because we all know get kids steal shit from us. Today, my mom stole my holiday money because she found it, quote, near her bag in my kitchen and, quote, assumed it was hers. And she must have, quote, forgotten it was there all this time. Yeah, okay. I demanded it back, but she's already spent it on hair, nails, shoes, and a date night with dad. She won't pay me back either. Parents, parents. And that's what we
Oh
get to do now,
shit.
kids. Love it.
Yeah, stealing your moolah.
Before we exit this before we leave tonight, we just quick social media shout out. Follow us on Facebook at / the dad tapes. Find us on Instagram at the dad tapes podcast. And don't forget our Twitter that we've never even used, which is the dad tapes. But be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a review on the show wherever you listen to your podcast. It does help.
And don't forget to rewind the tape before boxing it back up.
Peace.
See you guys.